Surah 57, Al-Hadid, opens with 7 verses that seem to match with the last 3 of Surah 59, which is of a group of 3 passages. If we include this, that's good to say following the crack of dawn. By the one who's denoted by the name Allah, who created my being with his names in accord with the meaning of the letter B, the Rahman, the Rahim, everything in the heavens and the earth glorifies Tasbih Allah through fulfilling their functions. Who is the Aziz, the Hakim? God is it. God is the mighty, the wise. To him belongs the sovereignty of the heavens and the earth. He gives life and he takes life. He is Qadir, powerful over all things. Who is the Awal, the first and initial state of existence, and the Akhir, the infinitely subsequent one to all manifestations, the Zahir, the explicit, unequivocal, and perceivable manifestation, the absolute reality beyond the illusion, and the Batin, the unperceivable reality within the perceivable manifestation, the source of the unknown, the absolute self beyond the illusory selves. He is Alim, knowing over all things, the knower of all things as their creator with his names. He created the heavens and the earth in 6 periods and then established himself on the throne. He knows what goes into the earth and what comes out from it, what is disclosed from the sky and what ascends to it, and he is with you, the origin of your being, wherever you are, as your reality exists with his names. This points to the unity of existence beyond the illusion of duality. Allah is Basir, observing of what you do as their creator. To him belongs the sovereignty of the heavens and the earth. All affairs are returned to Allah. He transforms the night into the day and the day into the night. He is their absolute essence. With his names, knows what is in the hearts. Believe in Allah and his Rasul, messenger. Your essential reality, with his names, give for his sake, from that of which he has made you vicegerents. Those among you who believe and give, there is a great reward for them. What is your reason for not believing in Allah, your essential reality, with his names, while the Rasul, messenger, invites you to believe in your Rabb, who has brought you into existence from non-existence with his names, and has even taken your word if indeed you are true believers. A great reward for them is the last part of the 7 verses I mentioned. He discloses clear, detailed signs to his servant to take you out of the darkness of ignorance into the nur, light of knowledge. Indeed, Allah is Ra'uf and Rahim to you, gentle, merciful. What is wrong with you that you do not give unrequitedly in the way of Allah? When the heritage of the heavens and the earth belongs to Allah, you will eventually leave all of your seeming possessions behind in the world. Those of you who give unrequitedly and fought before the conquest, Fath, are not equal to those who did not. They are higher in degree than those who gave and fought after the conquest. Allah has promised a good reward to all of them. Allah is Khabir, aware of what you do. Now you can say part of that has to do with the influence that people have. He who gives a good loan to Allah, Allah multiplies it for him and gives him a generous return. That day you will see the believing men and women with their light, nur, running before them and on the right side, and it will be said, your good news today is a paradise, is underneath which rivers flow. Therein you shall live forever. This is the great attainment indeed. On that day, the hypocrite men and 2-faced women will say to those who believed, wait for us, that we may acquire some of your light, nor knowledge of the reality. It will be said, go back and seek light, and an unsurpassable wall will be placed between them with a door, its inner wall containing grace, but its exterior is torment. The condition of those who fail to experience the reality is suffering, whereas observing the qualities of the names leads to a state of grace. They, the hypocrites, will say to the believers, "Were we not with you?" They will say, "Yes." But you succumbed to provocation, did not experience faith until there came the command of Allah, death, and you continuously monitored and fell into doubt, and your delusions deceived you, and the great deceiver, the conditioned mind, deceived you with the law, deluded you with the idea that since you are of him, you are free to do whatever you desire. So no ransom will be accepted of you, the hypocrites, are the deniers of the reality today. Your refuge is the fire. That fire is your protector. What a wretched place of return it is. Has not the time come for the believers to be in awe of the remembrance of Allah and what has been disclosed in truth, so that they may not be like those who were given a book before, that they do not reduce their worship to customs and traditions, and stop feeling and contemplating? A long period had passed over them, the children of Israel. Their worship had become customary practices, so their hearts hardened, they stopped contemplating and feeling their worship, and only do it out of custom. Most of them, the Jews, are corrupt in faith. Know well that Allah will give life to the earth after its death. We've made the signs clear to you so that you may use your intellect and understand. The Jews is a comment here, but obviously, if the scriptures of some groups have been corrupted, then, the beliefs will almost always be corrupted to a degree. And the Jews are an example nowadays of a particularly secular group of people, but not all of them. As we noticed earlier, not all the people of the book are like that, and there's a few ways that that's talked about. Indeed, men who give charity and women who give charity, and those who have given a good loan to Allah, it will be multiplied for them. They will have a generous reward. As for those who believe in Allah and His Rasul, messenger, as their essential reality with His names, they are the truthful and the very martyrs referred to in Surah 3:18, in the sight of the Rabb. They've given their lives over to the revelation and the inspiration. They have reward and nur, light of the knowledge. They have believed both in the Nabi and the Rasul. Muhammad was both a messenger prophet and an exemplar prophet. Those who deny the knowledge of the reality and the signs of our names in their essence, they are people of hell. Know well that the life of this world is but an amusement and a diversion and adornment and boasting to one another and competition in increase of wealth and children, like the examples of the rain, which makes the crops grow, giving joy, but then it dries and turns yellow and becomes debris. And in the eternal life to come, there is either suffering severely or forgiveness and the pleasure of Allah. The things pertaining to the worldly life are nothing but a delusion. So race towards forgiveness from your Rabb and a paradise whose size is as big as the heaven and the earth, prepared for those who believe in Allah and as Rasul, as their essential reality with His names. Such is the bounty of Allah, the realization of the vastness of the qualities of the names, which He grants unto whomever He wills. Allah is Dhul Fadl al-Slim, the possessor of great bounty. And what's meant there is that for the people who straight up get paradise, it's like this universe by itself. Per individual. The smallest part of creation is the one of the seven heavens, where the lowest heaven is where we got the stars and all that. Well, each part expands. It's like throwing a ring in the desert, and so on and so forth. No calamity befalls you on earth, on your physical body, and outer world, or among yourselves, your inner world, that has not already been recorded in a book, formed in the dimension of the knowledge before we bring it into being. Indeed, for Allah this is easy. We inform you out of this in order that you do not despair over your losses or exult in pride over what we have given you, for Allah does not like the boastful and arrogant, those stingy ones who exult in their wealth and enjoin stinginess upon people. Whoever turns away from Allah, indeed Allah is the Qani, the Hamid, the sufficient, the praiseworthy. Indeed, we have disclosed our messengers as clear proofs, and with them we disclose the knowledge of the reality and the Sunnatullah. Some of the ways were a little bit different, but the overall principles were the same. The material cultures were different. Now we're in an international age, so we have guidance that can spread out for everywhere. And the balance, judgment, reasoning, so that the people may uphold justice. And we sent down iron, Hadid, were in great power and benefit for the people. The relation between magma and iron in the human body, and of course iron's one of those things that is not produced in our solar system, that Allah may know who helps him and his messengers in the unknown. Certainly Allah is the Qawi, the Aziz, the strong, the mighty. Indeed, we also disclosed Noah and Abraham. We formed Nabuwa, the bringing out of the inner and spiritual news quality, and the book, the knowledge of the reality and Sunnatullah, tradition sanctioned by God, for their offspring. There are some among them who attain the reality, but the majority of them are corrupt in faith. Then we followed their work up with our messengers and followed them with Jesus and gave him the gospel, knowledge containing good news. We formed in their hearts compassion, infinite tolerance, and grace and clergy, attainment of a law, but they innovated it and changed it into monasticism out of fear, whereas we had not made clergy compulsory upon them. They did so to seek the pleasure of Allah, the blessings of paradise, but they did not duly observe it. We gave the believers among them their rewards, but the majority of them are corrupt in faith. And by clergy, that comment meaning, the professional priesthood, the ordained priesthood, the idea that you aren't allowed regular business and you just work for a church or something. O believers, protect yourselves from Allah and believe in the disclosure of his names through his Rasul messenger, so that he may give you a double portion of his grace and form for you Nur, light of knowledge, by which you walk, and forgive you. Allah is the Ghafur, the Rahim, that facing the merciful. This is so the people of the book, those to whom religion, knowledge of the reality, have been given, may know that they are not able to obtain anything from the bounty of Allah, and that all bounty is indeed by the hand of Allah, not through their own acquisition. And he gives to whom he wills. Allah is the Dhul Fadl Aslim, the possessor of great bounty.